Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's Vladimira Kuna, and I have amazing Norman here back. And, you know, I'm going to start like this. I went from school and I actually thought, oh, I'm interviewing Norman today. So I'm going to listen to our interview, which actually was just 11 months ago. Obviously, I checked. And the book is the same, but I had different name. Norman had a background with the movie, which changed the name. And the Vladdy who interviewed Norman are completely two different people, and Norman is different and Vlad is different. It was so interesting to actually listen and see us 11 months ago. And I just thought, wow, have we grown? And while the vision's still there, which is evolving so many levels. And another thing what I really love is nothing really changed, but you know, when we always talk about follow your vision, and you can change the route, but just stay with the vision. And that's what happened with Norman and his book, which I have signed. Love the book. I did read the book and I went through the chapters. Norman will introduce it more. But how powerful is when you make a choice to choose, and you make a decision, I should say, to change, you change. And we've had an amazing journey. And really, I'm grateful to have Norman here because he's one of the biggest part of my growth. You know, when you surround yourself with blissful, amazing people who are vibrating similarly as you, it's just a joy. Welcome, Norman.
Thank you for having me again, Vladdy.
Tell us who you are. You know, I was listening to me naming all the success which people can find, because I will add the link so they can see all the success you created, which is amazing. But you know, it was the way I interviewed you last time was naming all the things we achieved, which is amazing. You know, it's such a great sense of achievement. And yet I feel now you're so high consciously and spiritually that it's just fantastic. Tell us who you are. Who do you see yourself to be today?
I would say I am God's highest form of creation, like lovely Bob Proctor always used to say and remind us. And you know this from your own experience. As we speak twice a week, there's a big difference between knowing something and really knowing something. We spoke about that the other day. I heard this phrase so often, you are God's highest form of creation. And I thought, yeah, I know. I went to church. And as you just showed the book, the title is I Am Greater. And for such a long time, and I know that you are alike and so many people out there as well, I thought greatness comes from working your butt off, doing more follow-through steps, writing more affirmations down, coming more from the end, like all those beautiful things we learned. And as you ask me who I am, I'm still looking for the right words. So until then, I use I'm God's highest form of creation, because I realized that basically your background is a perfect symbol how to be greater. It's the silence. Because if you look at the tree or lake, okay, the lake is not rooted, but if you look at the tree usually stands still and it's rooted to everything around it. And it's in peace. The tree does not talk, the tree does not walk around, the tree does not dig holes, just the leaves in the wind have a little movement, but that's basically it. So could it be that a higher form of life, a higher form of consciousness, a higher form of being greater, is the opposite of that what we have been taught in the past? Like, it's not doing more, it's rather doing less and realizing the pure self is actually silence. Like Eckhart Tolle usually says that. Like, the true self is silence, where there is nothing, where there's no chit chat in your mind and Facebook and hassling back and forth and doing stuff. So I'm becoming greater in this new way every day. And the interesting thing is what Wayne Dyer and so many other great mentors mentioned in the past, that if you let go and let God, you are so much more successful. And I always thought how should this work? Like, how should I let go of some addictions and the work and the stress and be more productive or successful? Because if people don't read my posts, if people don't get my advertisement, if I don't say, hello, it's me with all these awards, who should come to me? And I finally realized in my heart, not just in my mind, that people don't follow you for what you know, because the thing that you know, a trillion other people know that as well and teach that as well. People follow you for who and what you are. For, we just spoke before you pressed record about the energy. They follow you for your energy and say, wow, this person is so authentic, so calm, so peaceful, so loving, so caring. I want to have that. So while we keep shouting and talking like, I'm good in marketing, I'm a speaker, I'm a... people don't really get the essence of our true being, which is silence. So you see, a very long answer for a short question.
I so love it. You know,
therefore, I want to say, I am. I just am. I am.
I love when you're talking, it reminded me, it was a year ago or something like that, when you actually said that on our call, you know, the study call, when you said, oh, quiet your mind and do nothing. For me, doing a person of I used to actually pride myself for being the best multitasker, which I realize it's not really serving people well because of the focus. But I remember I said, no, I have to do things. And then through the whole change and transformation, I realized that it's just, we're feeling our worthiness. We feel that actually by doing all this, I felt more worthy. And then you raise to that level where you just like, I don't need anyone's approval. And that was actually thanks to you as well. When we studied Wayne Dyer, you find the peace within you. And that's why I love the authentic you and you know, like people who really stand for it. And I love that. That's why I put it on my website. I love helping people to be the highest version and most authentic version of their self. However, as we talked, and you will talk about your principles in a book and the new world, I love how we really can't change anyone else. We would love to change the world, but you can change the world by changing yourself and yourself only. So tell us about your book, because I do love the principles, and it's true, you know, like we have to follow certain, you've got AnkeR method, which the acronym stands for things, so you can tell people more about it. But before that, I'm just gonna say what Bob Proctor actually said about Norman's book. And he said, I Am Greater provides you with the tools to help you step into a better and more fulfilling life that awaits you. Love that.
Me too, because Bob was such a wise man. We always think we are disconnected from the goal that we have. But as we know from Abraham and Esther Hicks, that it takes about, I think, 17 seconds to get the message towards the upper level, let's call it like that, towards God or the universe. And if I remember correctly, 68 seconds until it's done. So basically, if you have a desire, a wish in your mind, and you hold it in your heart with an emotion for a little bit longer than a minute, it is done. It's waiting. It's like waiting for pickup. The only reason why we don't get it after 68 seconds is we are not ready yet. And this comes back in a full circle to the AnkeR method that you just mentioned. I use the German word AnkeR, which is written ANKER, and not the American or the British way. And the 5 letters are an acronym. They stand for something new. So the A, for instance, stands for action. We need to take action. We need to say yes to life, not, oh, tomorrow or next year. And a beautiful example is that gets clearer by the day for myself, that the one thing that I work on every day is finding more joy in the way or in the path to a goal. And I give you an example. If we say we want to visit you in London, this is the end goal. Like the goal is to visit Vladi. So up to this goal, I need to book a flight, probably check a hotel, check transportation to you, get a rental car, book a parking at the airport in Germany, whatever it might be. And as I was a multitasker as well, like yourself and an event manager, usually all those processes that come before, I just do. like they come subconsciously. Am I really fancying those? No, but it's a needed thing to get to the wishful goal, like to meet you. And what I realize more and more, if I'm not enjoying booking the flight, if I don't enjoy booking the parking garage, I'm in lag. I'm in constant lag, because I say the great moment will be in 2 weeks when we meet. But right now, I really hate what I do, but I do it to get something that I like. So it's not that when we see each other that I don't like the situation. It's just the basic energy I give into the process is of lag. It's a low frequency, like David Hawkins would say. It's on the scale of consciousness. It's a low frequency. And this is what I mean with action. You need to take action and say yes to the moment, not yes to, oh, in 2 weeks I will be happy, or in 2 weeks will happen, whatever. No, say yes to the moment, take action. The N, the second letter, stands for new way. And basically it's what I just told you, choose a new way. Because probably you have been like me in the past, that you said, oh, I have to do that. I have to write a page now per day for my new book. I'm so grateful and happy when it's done. So the energy I write the book with is always pain, lag. I hate it. But if it's done, then I'm happy. So the whole book has an energy of, so go a new way, go a different way, because the way you already chose brought you to the person and the moment you are right now. If you're happy, go the same way. If you're not happy, if you say, there's some space for improvement, choose a new way. Brings us to the K in the AnkeR, and this is the key factor. And the key factor is, if you walk the new way, continue walking. Because most people fail after the second or third step into a new direction. They say, I walk a little bit there, I lose a little bit weight, I fast, I do a diet, I do more sports, whatever it might be. They do it for 2-3 days, and then they say, oh, that's hard. Yeah, it's not a habit yet. And they fall back. That's why it's the key factor. Brings us to the fourth letter. It's the E, and that's the secret power. It's the emotion. It also relates again to the first and second letter. Like, can I bring my full emotion of joy and pleasure and fascination into this very moment? Bring your emotion in. And this leaves us with the R, the last letter, and this is the result you get, and it will be a different result. And the book goes into all those 5 stages, even more what you can do. There are things you can work out, you can write down to find out more about yourself. It's about values, it's about your core engine that you need to know, like your values. And I think it's a great book. It's there that you will become greater, or realize that you are greater because you're greater already.
I agree. I love the book. You know, it's amazing, because what really fascinates me these days is when people can read a book, take the principles and apply them to their own life. It reminds me, last week when I was actually in Wales, one of my friends said to me, so are you actually certified with like a foundation, or, you know, like the certified British way of being a coach? And I said, no, I have lots of other certifications, because you go through the programs. But again, how society thinks you have to have all these papers. And then when you think about that, I said to her, that's, to me, that's, again, I'm not criticizing, this is my personal choice. I thought you go under the institution who tells you exactly how you teach, what questions you ask the person. You're not really understanding the real mindset. The mind is so huge and you can so grow. But again, if you have this, it's you have to follow certain principles. So you, again, within that box, not really opening up to all the opportunities and possibilities, how the mind works. And she said that it's really fascinating how, but you know, like people say, but where do you start? Follow your heart. And that's
Follow
what you're
your
just
heart.
talking about.
Yeah.
Or read some books as well. It's really important to read the books and experiences. I love your stories, like stories that really you can use, because it's the experience you went through that makes who you are. And that's what we say. It's not about what we read and how much we study. It's also how much we apply it to the experience that is happening to us.
Yes, it's so true. And those 2 letters, like I am, or those 2 words, they are so powerful. Because if I say, oh, I am tired, I am sick, I am sad, I'm stupid. This is basically what you tell yourself. This is your core inner being, your everything. It's not, oh, I feel hungry. Yeah, you can change the feeling, but your I am, you cannot change. And I just want to throw out a question. Who are you? Who are you truly? And I found this in a book that one of my favorite books that I studied earlier, you know, that this thing called You.
Yes.
I had a handwritten note in there, and this matches very beautifully to what we just speak about. I wrote down, what you believe is basically the law no, I wrote something in very weird English. What you believe is basically the law from which you operate from. What's the I am you are operating from right now? Because if you say, oh, I'm just in the beginning, I'm a coach, but I'm not certified by the law, by the state, by the whoever, it means you turn your light a little bit lower. You say, no, I could shine, I could be bright, but I don't have this certificate. No, at the end of the day, if you can help someone, nobody will ask, do you have a piece of paper that says, oh, you're allowed to help? It's just that we realize we are already great. Usually we don't realize it. And as you said in the beginning, the introduction for the book was different 11 months ago. And more I avoid speaking about all those prizes and whoever I met. And it's my past and it's great. Still, I don't that those things want to dominate my current I am, because this was the old self. And if people look at the book or my life from the outside, they say, wow, you have achieved so much. I, for myself, sometimes say, really? Because I have the ups and the downs like everyone in life for 24 hours. You just don't see what's happening. But the growth that we all already have, we should appreciate every day. Are we there where we want to be? Probably not. But again, if we don't enjoy the way towards the growth, towards where we want to end up to be the greatest version of ourselves, we will not get there, because we are always coming from lack, and lack will create more lack.
I love what you said. I love, and this is our favorite subject, mindset of lack, where people say, I want to do that, but I will do that when. And you gave me a quote, which I funnily can't, but you can maybe probably remember. But you know, people say, I will do that when I get more money, I will be happy. Yes. When I have more time, when I find a new job, I will be happy. When I do this, I will be happy. Well, first be happy, and then everything else falls in place. And it is like when you talk about, actually, I'll just quickly note on the success you created, which is, it is incredible. But I love how people can get inspired by a different, and we talk about this, vibrational scale. You know, like so many times people think this is all important to actually be someone, and then people create outside a great success. I'm not talking about you now, Norman, but and then they feel really empty. Well, we know this from a coaching. We actually work with the clients who are really wealthy. They're not happy. And there has to be a level of like feeling inner peace and inner happiness. Otherwise, you're giving away a power. If you look at someone and say, oh, look at her. Well, it's easy for her because she can do that. It's easy. We all go through the same path. And at some point, we all are born to this world with one gift. Well, probably more gifts, but with the gift, which we just ignore because we are so busy looking outside what other people do, comparing ourselves, which is the biggest issue in the world, is the competition. Bob Proctor used to say that. One thing you avoid is competition. Live in a creative world. There's plenty of abundance. I love the quote. What is it? From abundance, he scooped abundance, and yet abundance remained. And it's so true.
And this reminds me of another beautiful sentence in this amazing book, end of chapter 3. When the time comes that nothing goes forth from you other than that which you would be glad to have returned, then you will have reached your heaven. And it just symbolizes in a beautiful sentence what you just shared. Like, you come from abundance, you are abundance. And if you are not abundance, abundance cannot come to you. It's not that I say I have to do something that abundance comes to me. No, you have to be it. And now
Yeah.
people say, how can I be abundance? How can I be love? How can I be happiness? How can I be wealth and health and whatever?
And we're back to I am.
Yes,
I
it
am.
comes back to the I am. And I just got reminded of something. And as we do crazy things here, can you make me please the co-host real quick while we are recording? I just remembered a beautiful video that I will pull up right now from a funny person we all know.
Tell me how.
You go to participants, you find myself, and
Oh,
then
yes.
you have the 3 little dots, I think, on the right, and it says make co-host.
I should know this, right?
No, it's okay.
Oh, I can make you host. Oh, not host.
No, make it co-host is okay, that I can screen share.
It doesn't say I will make you host. I will make you host.
Okay, and I'm host now. Then I host you back afterwards. I want us to watch a short 1.5-minute video by Jim Carrey, where he exactly spoke about what you just mentioned about, oh yeah, when something happens, then I'll be happy or enough. Here it is.
From the upcoming film True Crimes, please welcome 2-time Golden Globe winner, Jim Carrey.
Thank you. I am 2-time Golden Globe winner, Jim Carrey. You know, when I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm 2-time Golden Globe winner, Jim Carrey, going to get some well-needed shut-eye. And when I dream, I don't just dream any old dream. No, sir. I dream about being 3-time Golden Globe winning actor Jim Carrey. Because then I would be enough. It would finally be true. And I could stop this terrible search for what I know ultimately won't fulfill me. But these are important, these awards. I don't want you to think that just because if you blew up our solar system alone, you wouldn't be able to find us or any of human history with the naked eye. But from our perspective, this is huge. One more time, here are the nominees for Best Motion Picture.
Comedy.
Oh,
I just love that. Okay, stop the video. He just pinpointed down everything that we spoke about. It's like, I'm a 2-time Golden Globe winner, and when I go to bed, I don't dream the old dream. No, I dream about being the 3-time Golden Globe winner. Basically, what we have done in the past so often, say, oh, yes, the new I am, but not the new I am of being, but the I am of having. Mm-hmm. Usually we go for goals on the outside because we think something on the outside. The 3rd award, more money, another house, another car, another spouse, makes us more happy and fulfilled, which ultimately will not happen, he said. Because when you have it, when you have the new house, when you have more money, you realize after a couple of days, weeks or months, like, my life really did not change. Now I have more of that, but I'm not happier because we created a I am on the outside. It's basically not a I am, but I have or I own. Yeah. And we want to go back and say, who am I within? And it's a challenging question. And you need to be in the study for quite a while, as the 2 of us realize all the time, to finally get to an answer. Because this question is so huge that your mind just does not find an answer. Because your mind thinks, oh, how much money would I need to make to feel worthy? And then you come back and say, it's not about the money. Nothing on the outside, it's just on the inside.
You know, Norman, I remember when Bob used to say to people, when you are happy, the money comes to you. You know, like first do things in a proper way, meaning obviously finding yourself, and then the money comes. And I never kind of understood that a year ago. I was like, well, how do they? I need the money first because I need to live. And you know, the excuses we have, which is not really excuses, it's fact. But once you understand more and more the principles, you realize that when you're in that inner peace, things really do come.
Yeah, and I
They
just remember
come your way.
it comes your way. And this beautiful quote, I just remember, I don't know where I heard it. The quote is basically, are successful people happy, or are happy people successful?
You know, it brings me to a charity I held. Well, I've been involved for 8 years, 9 years now. And when the children get the books we send them, the sparkle in the eyes, in comparison to the Western children, including mine, you know, like they just live in a world where they have everything, and you know, and sometimes it's just too much because they're not really getting, like, and I shouldn't say getting, but they need to earn it, so they feel the value of it. We're kind of almost depriving them to understand the value, and then we say, well, but kids are so disrespectful these days. Well, it's our fault, really. But going back to that, the sparkle in their eyes, none of these children in where I am could really match that inner happiness. Like, whoa, I have a book. Like, thank you. I'm reading the book every day. Like that, the real inner. And where are they? They're in a place where they have 1 meal a day. So just the point of like the real happiness. When I traveled in Southeast Asia, I think the most happiest people I've seen was in Cambodia. I mean, it was kind of scary because, you know, you had to follow the path. There was mines everywhere from the past, what happened. And lots of people had no legs, or because you step on the mine, and, you know, but the inner peace of people going like, could I just speak to you for 5 minutes? I want to practice my English, you know, like you see that real happiness. And that goes back to your quotes. Like, are really successful people happy, or are happy people successful? I love that. I've never heard that before, actually.
No, you didn't?
No.
It's so true what you just said. If we could come back and put on childlike glasses, our life would be so much more happy. And I realized that, I mean, I have 3 children, and you have children as well. And the other day, like 2 days ago, we went to visit some friends, and they had a 4-year-old. And the little girl kind of fell in love with me for whatever reason. She said, oh, I'm your friend now. Okay. And we played hide and seek for a while. And the interesting thing for my adult brain was, like, if you hide at one place for one time, it's okay. And the second time she went there as well. And the third time she went to the same place. And like, I don't know, we played 10 or 12 times, and I was always looking for a different place to hide. She always went back to the same place. Like, she did not even try to go a little bit further left or further right or the other direction, until the adults on the table said, hide here. And she did. And then the next round, she moved back to her old place. And my adult mind said, you know, that's quite boring.
Yes.
But now, as we speak about it, I realize it's not about the goal. It's about having the fun, to running away, to hide. And if it's the same place over and over again, it's totally okay. But we all have been conditioned to say, no, you have to try harder and something new, and you need to do more and more sophisticated and more egoistic and more outgoing. No, how about, it's not about being found in this game. How about it's about the process of the one person counts and you just take off. And like you said, with the sparkle in the eye, you're totally excited. Ooh, and I hide there. Yeah, it's the same place, but it doesn't matter. Can we approach life or ourselves or anything that is currently happening to us, within and without, with the same childlike, sparkling eye point of view? To say, you know, it's not important if I die in a year, in 10 years, or in 100 years. Is it possible that I feel happy despite the fact that your back hurts or whatever might happen in this very moment, because I can breathe, I'm alive, the sun is out, I have technology to speak to beautiful friends abroad, I can connect to the whole world in a second, I have beautiful books I can read, I can go wherever I want to. There are so many things I could be grateful about. But no, we focus only on the one thing. I don't have my goal yet. Life sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, and
You
this
know,
is what we're
that brings me to Peggy's beautiful triangle.
Yeah.
What would I love? And it really
What
is
would
that.
I love?
Would I love that if there's something where people would love to have and they achieving that? And this is where people need to realize that if we all unique and different, I don't have to do things that Norman does, or you know, like other people do, because end of the day, if you have that, what does Wayne Dyer say, or is it actually Neil Donald Walsh even say? I love that analogy of the ocean. You know, we're
Yeah.
individualized waves of the ocean, so we're part of the ocean, we're part of the universe and God, but we're still individualized. And if people have different intentions, well, doesn't really mean that they have to separate. You know, it's like finding the blend where the person is still the person and you just fine around them.
Yes.
And that is just,
you know, no wave would be jealous because another wave is much more higher or breaks faster or is more outgoing or more slow. The ocean itself does not care at all. The ocean could not care less if the waves are up or down or fast or slow. The ocean just is, and a wave just is. And I think Wayne Dyer shared that many years ago. He said, no, how was it? No tree would be so foolish to fight, like no branches of a tree would be so foolish to fight amongst each other. And I never saw a tree where the branches start fighting and say, oh no, I'm bigger, I'm longer, I have more leaves. It never happens. Just the human doing, not the human being, the human doing says, oh, the neighbor has more, I want to have that too. Not because it makes me happier, but just to show that I am better. And this leads us on a path of disconnectedness, because it's all about the ego. It's me first. And we actually can see in the world where it led us. And it's not a healthy thing for nobody of us.
So true. I love that. It's the disconnection. I love you mentioned it. And the whole book is really about showing you how you can connect yourself to yourself. Be the authentic yourself. Don't worry about other people's approval. I'm talking to people now, not to you. Just tell them, really get the book. I Am Greater. I love it. It's got beautiful principles. It's got different, really healthy perception as well. You know, like I love other people's perception. And we talked about this. It's so great when you find people and surround yourself with people who you feel great with, and then you really grow, because it's just like such an amazing journey.
It is. And for all the people that say, you know, I already have 10 books piled up, I cannot buy the 11th one because it takes for another 20 years for me to read them, get the Audible version. It's read by the beautiful Diraj Global. You might know him from Clubhouse. He has a room, the Secret Law of Attraction Club, I think, with, I don't know, 60,000 followers or even more. And he plays his motivational stuff every night. He has a very meditative, relaxing voice. So if you're listening,
I love his voice.
You can also get the Audible version of I Am Greater and fall asleep with being greater.
I love that. Thank you so much, Norman. Anything else you would love to add? I will put all the links in there so you can find Norman's book and follow Norman and see what he does. But yeah, we really wanted to give you a message about you being perfect the way you are.
Yes, the way you are. And that's probably the last message from myself. Just be happy in this very moment. And if you say, okay, so I understood the two of you, not everything, but I heard you. Now, what's the next step besides getting the book? The next step would be do a little, just a little bit more of what really makes you happy. And if this is an ice cream, if this is doing something, if this is sitting next to a lake, if this is sleeping, if this is kissing, whatever it might be, just do it. Because this inner spark, this joy, this fascination needs to be triggered again. And it usually starts with something that you really love doing and having and being. And that's the first way to be even greater.
I love that. What would you love?
What would you love?
Thank you so much, Norman. Really appreciate you. And everybody, we'll see you soon. And please have a look at Norman's book. You can get it in any versions, and we'll see you later. You're a host, Norman.
I'm the host. I have to stop recording.